May I have your lordship's leave to commence the proceeding?
Yes.
May I request the learned Advocate General to deliver his speech?
Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Judges, Learned Additional Solicitor General of India, Deputy Solicitor General of India, President and Secretary of the Bar Library Club, President and Secretary of the Bar Association, President and Secretary of the Incorporated Law Society, the Registry, and members of the Bar. Today is the full court farewell to Justice Subrata Talukdar. I have known him from 1979. Not known to many, Justice Talukdar and I were batchmates at Presidency College. He read political science. I read economics. He met his life partner, Savita Potdar, when in presidency. I had to wait longer. Justice Talukdar enrolled as an advocate on the 17th of April, 1989, after obtaining his law degree from Delhi University. He has always had a flair for the English language and also worked as a journalist for the Telegraph Kolkata, the Economic Times Kolkata, and both the Statesman and the Hindu in New Delhi. In practice, our paths did not cross too often, as I practiced mostly in the commercial side, and Justice Talukdar practiced mainly in the constitutional and civil jurisdiction. However, we did share a cup of tea quite often and were both engaged in a matter by the workmen of Jessup and Company Limited when there was a challenge thrown to the disinvestment by the central government of its stake in Jessup and Company Limited. Unfortunately, the challenge to the disinvestment was rejected, though it had gone right up to the Honorable Supreme Court of India. We were dejected by that loss. We felt tremendous injustice had occurred, but we kept quiet as good lawyers, having lost in a legal forum. We did not protest. Justice Talukdar has always been a keen student of law. He enjoyed his stint as associate editor of the Calcutta High Court Notes. He was a senior state government advocate and also represented the Calcutta High Court, Eastern Railway, Metro Railways, and Damodar Valley Corporation. His judgments read well, and very recently, he explained Billy Moria's case in the context of Section 2Q1 of the Urban Land Ceiling Act. I had both the pleasure and privilege of appearing in this matter before the division bench presided over by him. And what was an added bonus was Mr. Shoktinath Mukherjee was on the other side, and it was one of the rare land cases that he lost. Justice Talukdar has been a judge for over 10 years in this honorable court and an advocate for over 24 years. He has always been a patient listener. He enjoyed a very amicable relationship with the bar and was also much liked by his colleagues and friends at the bar. His sense of justice was always based on equitable principles. We will all miss him. On behalf of the bar and myself, I wish you and your family the very best in the next phase of your life. And I will say, as Bob Dylan says, fare thee well.
Thank you, sir. May I request the learned Deputy Solicitor General to deliver his speech?
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, my Lord, the Honorable Companion Justices of the Honorable Court, and the galaxy of luminaries gracing the occasion. Today we have assembled to bid farewell to one of our most loved members of the bar. We had a long-standing relation of working together, assisting him as his junior in many matters. The Honorable Justice Subrata Talukdar. 1961 to 1989. Now, these are usually known to be growing up phase from the time a man is born till he joins the profession. But this particular phase was also very eventful insofar as my lord is concerned. The dreams of a young Bengali boy. Now, all those dreams were achieved in as much as my lord attended Presidency College, thereafter Jadavpur University. My lord completed his law from Delhi University, had a long stint in the field of journalism where my lord excelled, and thereafter my lord finally joined law as a member of the bar in 1989 and continued till 2013, giving me an opportunity to assist his lordship in many matters from 2011 to 2013 till his lordship was elevated. So my lord's journey as a judge was very eventful, especially my lord's famous one-liners, my lord, which we'll always remember, and my lord's exemplary wit and humor, which was always reflected when people were arguing cases before his lordship. We'll all miss his lordship, my lord. I went to meet his lordship during the recess time. So I said that as America will be celebrating its independence tomorrow, we'll find my lord also being completely independent and my lord living up to his unfulfilled dreams of going back to, we both are very proud insofar as our roots are concerned. We both hail from East Bengal. Our families are from neighboring districts. So we had an agreement that we'll both go together to our native place, from the place we hailed. My lord hailed from Borishal, I hail from Khulna. So when my lord was elevated, that was the last thing I told my lord, that once my lord retires, then we'll again complete the unfinished business we have of visiting the place together. So my lord, I wish your lordship all the best, my lord, and a very happy and a healthy life ahead.
May I request the Secretary of the Bar Library Club to deliver his speech?
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, my Lords, Learned Advocate General, Learned Deputy Solicitor General, President and Secretary of the Bar Association, President and Secretary of the Incorporated Law Society, members of the registry, my friends. We have gathered here today to offer our gratitude to your Lordship for your Lordship's contribution to society, particularly by way of rendering substantive justice. We have seen your Lordship prior to your Lordship's elevation as a member of our bar. Your Lordship had considerable practice in the writ jurisdiction, in service jurisprudence, and also in arbitration matters. I was fortunate enough to work with your Lordship in some of the matters where your Lordship was representing the state as a senior government advocate. And for a brief period when I was having the opportunity to assist your Lordship, I had really a learning experience. And the most unique experience for me was that before I could approach your Lordship and give the points which I could find out, I found that your Lordship was ready with all the points to be argued, the defenses to be taken. But nevertheless, your Lordship was gracious enough and reassuring and encouraging as always. Even after your Lordship's elevation as a judge of this honorable court, your Lordship's temperament has been same, reassuring, encouraging, calm, and composed towards the juniors. The juniors were never hesitant to address your Lordship on any matter, even if the matter was not good on facts or law, and they were hesitant to open up. The moment the matter is called on, your Lordship would greet all of us with a very warm smile. And with that smile, the tension and anxiety would just vanish. And we could argue our case to our heart's content. Another aspect, your Lordship has been a petitioner's delight. Wherever there is room for any exercise of discretion, the discretion is exercised, shorn of any technicalities that the other side may take. Some of the landmark judgments which I had occasion to come across, Your Lordship, had changed the dynamics of the Panchayat election law. Because it was Your Lordship's judgment whereby Your Lordship directed the State Election Commissioner to accept nomination papers sent over WhatsApp because they were resisted from filing their nominations. This had changed a great extent the requirement of physical acceptance of the nomination papers. Furthermore, Your Lordship, presiding over a division bench in the matter relating to illegal appointments in Group C posts made by the School Service Commission, affirmed the order of the learned single bench directing CBI to inquire into the irregularities upon a finding that such irregularities were in the nature of a public scam. These are only illustrations of Your Lordship's endeavor to advance the cause of substantive justice. Apart from the aforesaid, Your Lordship's approach to justice has always been humane and reflected the urge to remedy the wrong and or injustice done to the aggrieved. Not only we, the members of the bar, but the entire human society in this state shall miss you, as the citizens are about to lose a judge who always stood up for the rights of the suffering class. We are not bidding farewell to you. Maybe we will not see you at 10:30 a.m. every day, but Your Lordship will continue to remain in our hearts. It is only that Your Lordship will no longer be bound by the 10:30, 4:30 schedule, but that Your Lordship will have now the liberty to utilize the time, devoting the same to Your Lordship's interests, which so long has been devoted for the benefit of society. On my behalf and on behalf of the members of the Bar Library Club, I wish Your Lordship a very happy and healthy future ahead.
May I request the President, Bar Association, to deliver his speech?
My Lord the Chief Justice and other honorable judges, my Lord Mr. Anindo Mittal is here, the Advocate General is here, I am here. We have a soft corner for all presidentians from Presidency College. Now he was one of them. Actually, when I was passing out, he joined. And he was a man who, so far as a judge is concerned, he belonged to nobody and therefore belonged to everybody. So, and my Lord, even I told some of my juniors that if you can make him angry, I shall give you 5,000 rupees. But I failed. What to do? Therefore, my Lord, I request the learned judge to keep relation as Your Lordship keeps with the bar. Every day, my Lord, twice we waited for his, sweets, rasgulla, used to send to the bar. So he shall be missing that. So we expect a very good life, retiring life, doing something. Don't go to enter the room and be arrested by your wife. That is all.
May I request the Vice President of the Incorporated Law Society to address?
My Lord the Chief Justice, my Lords, the Learned Advocate General, the Deputy Solicitor General, President and Secretary of the Bar Association, President and Secretary of the Bar Library Club, my Lord Justice Talukdar, it was a pleasure knowing Your Lordship and working with you in the profession. Post your elevation as a judge of this honorable court on 30th of October 2013, it was a greater pleasure to appear before you and argue a case before you. The atmosphere in your courtroom has always been tension-free and was full of wit and humor. We will definitely miss this from now onwards. In your career as a judge, spanning over 10 years, you have dealt with varieties of cases in both civil, criminal, and constitutional jurisdiction, and many other cases. You have also delivered path-breaking judgments, which will be remembered for all times to come. The vast experience that you gathered in your professional life, doing varieties of matters, actually helped you to mature as a judge and to discharge your duties as a judge with perfection. Your retirement will definitely open a new chapter of your life. Enjoy the world of possibilities ahead of you. Enjoy having the time to do all the things you have always wanted to do, minus the tension, worries, anxieties, and mundane routines. Life would go on these parameters now, and I'm sure you will pursue your passion of debating and reading vigorously. My Lord, on the eve of your retirement, I, on behalf of the members of the Incorporated Law Society and my colleagues here, do wish you good health and happiness as you move forward. May you live your best life from here on. Enjoy your retirement. You'll be greatly missed. My Lord.
May I now request the Honorable Justice Subrata Talukdar to address the gathering.
The Honorable the Chief Justice, the Honorable Judges present today, the Learned Advocate General, whom we call in college, we affectionately refer to as Gopal, are completely belying his combative stature in court. The President and Secretary of the Incorporated Law Society, the Learned Additional Solicitor General, the President and Secretary of the Bar Library Club, the President and Secretary of the Bar Association. Having regard to the enormity of today's occasion, I brought a prepared speech, so I'm going to present that. This is, first of all, a moment to express gratitude. First of all, I express my deepest thanks to the Honorable the Chief Justice and all my learned brothers and sisters on the bench. Thank you for tolerating me for this long. I've always received the most positive of vibes from all, which has helped shape my confidence on and off the bench. I also express my heartfelt thanks to the bar for watching me ever so closely. The bar is truly the judge's barometer. It sums up the man you are, both in and outside the ropes. Many of them are former colleagues and revered seniors from my salad days. I'm grateful to have received the correct measure of assistance and consideration from the bar in discharging my judicial functions. I further express my thanks to the members of the registry of this court, both past and present. They have worked tirelessly behind the scenes, helping the honorable judges in discharging their administrative duties. Becoming a judge from the bar, I benefited immensely from their keen inputs on how to keep the wheels of this great institution running. I also express my thanks to the officers of the several departments of this court. They have worked to dot every I and cross every T so that the honorable judges suffer from the minimum of discomfort in the discharge of their duties. I must thank members of the district judiciary, whom I had the privilege of interacting, particularly in my role as a zonal judge of allotted districts. Their respect for this institution and enthusiasm in the discharge of their duties has never ceased to amaze me. Last but not the least, I must thank the staff of my court and the staff attached to my chamber. Taijul Babu, Bimol, Amar, Madhu, Robin, Falguni Babu, Basudev Babu, Gaur, Kollan, Shashwati, Shudipto, Shubhankar, Shamarjit, Anand, Uday, and Bhairav. Thank you all for being at my side throughout all these years. It has been a roller coaster ride for me. I remember walking into the Statesman House, Calcutta, to be interviewed by the legendary, the late Mr. C.R. Irani for the job in the Statesman, Delhi. I landed the offer and shifted to the Statesman House, Connaught Place. Soon I was privileged to receive an offer from the Hindu Madras at Delhi. Hectic and exciting years followed, and in between I completed my law degree course from Delhi University. Then one day after an editorial conference, I handed over my resignation letter to the managing editor, Mr. Kasturi, the doyen of the Hindu. He was one of the most remarkable leaders of men I have come across in my young days. Soft-spoken, polished, and firm, he exuded aristocracy. His response was, "Talukdar, law is a tough choice. You may take a lien and come back to us." I replied, "Sir, that may be difficult." My resignation was accepted with kind words after a month, and I waded into the legal stream, totally unaware of its depths. With every passing month, the idea of return to my newspaper grew more distant, and there I was, and here I am. To quote Alan Saunders, "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans." Law, I realized painstakingly thereafter, is not a career but a calling. No amount of artistry in language can substitute for hard work on the small details and the experience and understanding required in courtrooms. As my late grandfather, Sri Subrata Talukdar, himself a retired judge from the district judicial service, used to say, lawyers are required to always perform in full public view. As a result, they're always being measured. They are required to be robust as they exercise both their intellect and their legs. In the words of Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. Since there was no going back to my newspaper, I had to grit my teeth and go on, continuously reminded of the words of Winston Churchill, "If you are going through hell, keep going." I read books on law and off law, autobiographies, biographies, history, philosophy, and fiction. A legal presentation, being a reflection of life itself, must carry such intonation. I learned to understand from the words of Louis Brandeis, a former US Supreme Court judge, that what the court did not do was often more important than what it did do. I learned to appreciate the value of Benjamin Disraeli's method of handling the Queen of England. I never deny, I never contradict, I sometimes forget. Gladstone, his political rival, speaks to the Queen as if she were a public department. In the words of Benjamin Cardozo, justice is not to be taken by storm, she is to be wooed by slow advances. The point that I really want to make here, particularly keeping in mind the junior members of the bar, that let us not kill the art of good informed conversation. To my mind, like fine dining, the judicial order delivered by the bench is the culminating point of a poised engagement with the bar. It is important to realize that from the seeming chaos that reaches courtrooms, our work, both in the bar and on the bench, provides a structured solution which keeps society from being utterly fractured. In the words of Herbert Everett, how little the public realize how dependent they are for their happiness on an impartial administration of justice. I have often thought it like oxygen in the air. They know and care nothing about until it is withdrawn. I have rambled for long, taking your precious minutes. As I retire, I'm asked about my plans. I say that I have made no plans. I'm simply going to stay in this city of joy and sharpen my experiences. I close this address paying obeisance to my parents and ancestors. I will miss all of you. I'll be away from you, but hopefully never far from your thoughts. As the saying goes, we meet to create memories. We part to preserve them. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship, for the wonderful speech and sharing of experience. Now, may I have the leave to declare the proceeding as concluded?
Yes, please.
The proceeding is hereby concluded.